Hey y'all, back at it again. Bearder Bros Golf Show. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Man, the world of golf heating up. Like I said, it's starting to feel real out here. So, just top stories for the week. We have the Masters coming up next week. We have first time entry coming out of the Valero Texas Open, and because as we've gone live here, we're going to see Nelly Korda wrap up her fourth win of the year, third in as many weeks. The young lady is just really out here dominating the women's game of golf.
Oh
The
yeah.
sports world is heating up. NCAA Women's March Madness finished today. Um, NBA playoffs are upcoming, so a lot of stuff to cover and hit on. So, um, yeah, we'll cover the Nelly Quarter stuff. So she's three up, heading into the 16th hole. So yeah, that's another one in the books. We've been saying it the last couple of weeks. Homegirl's just incredible. The game is
Yeah.
looking just untouchable right now.
I mean, she looked shaky maybe one round, and that was the first round. And then after that, once she got acclimated and got rejuvenated and stuff like that, she was fine. I mean, she made a push. She got in the top eight. I mean, it was a wild format for the LPGA, but something different. Not anything you can really just admonish or hate on because the PGA didn't even have any match play on their schedule this year. So whatever match play we can get, we're gonna take it and run with it. So
Yeah,
this
I didn't
whole
hate it.
three
I
day
didn't hate it.
cut, right? It was. I would have liked to see less stroke play to qualify it and more players in the match play, but that's just my love for match play. So I would have liked to seen it have been 16 players or 32
Yeah,
players and it started day forward and then they do, the 36, 36, 18 or whatever, or 18, 36, 36 or whatever. But I'm not unopposed to them getting away from round robin play like the PGA was doing, but I also did like the round robin play. I mean, I had no problem either way that the strategy was going down, but I mean, it's always just fun to see single elimination go down the bracket and you win, you move on. So I definitely,
yeah,
think maybe they go PGA takes a break, goes back to the OG 64-man team and then let you just go from there 1 through 64, and then you just work your way down the ladder. So you never know with
yeah.
that.
And I think the timing, with the true March Madness and basketball going on, that the timing of it is good. And if I recall correctly, the Dell Match Play used to be around this time of year as well, kind of
Yeah,
during, April, March and April bracket, kind of synonymous and went together. So maybe we'll see a return. Who knows? But like you said, I don't hate the format. I like seeing match play. Whatever we can get, we will accept, and we'll definitely
absolutely.
accept another Nelly Korda win. So shout out to her for doing her thing. And if you did not get a chance to catch our What's in the Bag last week, that is available. I posted last week. So go check out her What's in the Bag and what she's winning and dominating the LPGA with. Pretty spectacular stuff going on with her right
Absolutely.
now. And let's kind of lead into the Masters going on next week. And Akshay
Yep.
Bhatia taking the Valero Texas Open today to get his second professional win. Last year, he won the Barracuda, which is a um, what is that, modified Stableford format. So it didn't qualify for the majors, but this was his first stroke play win. Um, you know, Gutted it out down the stretch, went wire to wire eventually. Had to get it in a playoff over Denny McCarthy, which I was kind of rooting against Denny McCarthy. I think notorious for me in terms of slow play, so I cannot root for that man. No matter if he
Yeah.
was balling out and got seven birdies in a row, which he was on a tear. But Batia needed every bit of the six-stroke lead that he had built up, starting the first, nine of today. Ended up hurting his shoulder, celebrating on number 18. It's he revealed afterwards that it's a previously injured shoulder. Kind of did a slight dislocation, was able to get it back in, go to the first playoff hole, got the tee shot off, got his approach or layup off, and then had to get taped up by his trainer who was still on site to finish it off. Denny McCarthy had dumped it in the water in front of the 18th green, got it a
Yeah.
wedge. I don't know if that was nerves or what, but pretty much guaranteed Bhatia if he was able to get on the green, he was going to be able to two putt and get out of there. He ended up making the birdie to clinch. So shout out to that 22-year-old man. Showed a lot of maturity over the week. I got a chance to really get in tune with yesterday's around. A lot of waiting on tee boxes. I think it was probably close to 25, 30 minutes between him being able to get off of 17 and go to 18 and tee off. So significant
Yeah.
waits yesterday, but you could just tell his mind was definitely in the round. What do you think about Bhatia getting his, second professional win and berth to the Masters?
Yeah. I mean, dude shot a 67 and, just to win it. So dude went out and shot a golf ball around the course when he needed to most because Denny McCarthy was really charging, and he took his sweet time doing it. You know how Denny McCarthy does, but definitely shout out to Akshay. Hate that he's given a bad rep slightly to the golfers by dislocating his shoulder off a celebration alone. Like we're not beating the accusations right now, bro. Like we're trying to be athletic and you're kind of selling us right now, bro. So, get in the weight room a little bit, get those ligaments a little bit stronger. You know what I'm saying? Or get that thing back in the socket, and then let's go back to work.
Yeah,
Probably him being younger and everything like that. I don't know if it's all going to translate to the Masters because it's going to take a lot out of him, especially to celebrate, do all the interviews, do all the family and stuff like that before you go over to the
rehab.
Masters. So right, shoulder's gonna, and you got a built-in excuse right then and there. So hopefully, he does show up and at least makes the cut. But I'm pretty sure he's not gonna mail it in. But I think his fate is sealed as far as this next event goes. But
Yeah,
maybe
but yeah, I mean,
maybe RBC Heritage is a good one for him. Right after that,
yeah, but the Masters is the part of the experience, right? That's the
right?
getting out there, seeing the course for the first time. Although they did, make a point of saying that he was 10 years in, 10 years away from his, drive, pitch, and putt, drive, chip, and putt
Yeah,
appearance 10 years ago. So looked like a totally different kid. Just celebrating a win out there. But just I don't know. He seems like a very likable guy to me, very down to earth, very mature for 22 years old. Chose to forego college and go straight to the professional game.
yeah,
So shout out to that dude for kind of battling through, um, the tough adversity today. Fighting off a pretty competitive field. That's another part of the
yeah,
story with the Valero Texas Open with even though it was a big gap between him and McCarthy, and then the next, person after that, which ended up being Rory McIlroy. So you saw
random
Hideki
enough.
Matsuyama, exactly. Ricky Fowler was out there, Ludwig there, Jordan Spieth with a wild incident yesterday on 18. Max Homa, Colin Morikawa, who didn't play that well, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, who had a respectable finish as well. So,
Yeah,
not a light field at all. I think players definitely wanting to get reps in before majors and not, seeing success sitting on their hands the week before. It's just different prep. Max Homa said he'd be doing that before every major this year, which two of them are going to be before signature events, so kind of hard
right.
to skip those. But getting the Valero in, and then we'll be doing the Scottish Open before the Open this year as
Yeah,
well. So this is becoming a trend. I like it. I think a lot of players talked about liking San Antonio, liking the course. So shout out to Hill Country.
definitely.
Anything else on that one before we jump into Batia's what's in the bag?
Um, yeah, I thought even despite like the windy conditions, I felt like this was out of the norm for the San Antonio for Valero because I feel like usually this is one of those high single digit wins. You know, it's not really you're just going crazy deep, seeing a like we saw 63 on the final day. You know, we're not usually seeing that. We're usually seeing a 66 or 67 to get to like 5 under, 6 under, something like that, you know. But I think that the TPC San Antonio played really well. I felt like it had a lot of, you know, Masters like characteristics with the shaved banks and stuff like that, made you hit up to aerial shots and, you know, practice on these hard, firm greens with crisp, you know, greens and stuff like that to make you really put on some glassy, fast greens. So I think it was a good test. I think that, you know, if you're young enough and you feel like you know, you need the reps. I think the week before is definitely the way to go instead of playing 2 weeks prior and then having like a week of prep. I feel like you're just loading on, you know, so much pressure. And then you know you go from thinking about regular golf to thinking about major golf, and now you're thinking about it for 2 weeks straight. That's a lot of
Hmm.
pressure. That's a lot of stress. I'd much rather just take it a week at a time, you know. So I definitely shout out to the Valero for doing this thing and you know prepping everybody for the Masters, which should be another good week.
It really should. It really should. Getting excited. Tiger seemed to be confirmed. Um,
Did you see
some
that
rumors
meathead
about
picture that they
injuries.
showed?
No, I hadn't seen that one.
Bro, it doesn't even look. He doesn't even look real, right? Oh my God, Golf Digest posted a picture of him in a Navy Sunday red polo. And bro, it might be a large or an XL, and he's just busting out of it. Like, I mean, like it's meathead central. The teeth look fake. Like, I mean, he is. Ugh, it's wild. If you can't find it, I'll show you the picture later or after stream. But you
Okay.
have to see this
Is
picture
it?
of him looking
Is
like a
it's on?
meathead.
It's on Instagram.
It's on the Bird app for sure. I don't, and yeah,
Okay,
I mean, Golf Digest does have a Instagram, so it's probably on there too.
I have to check it out. Okay, that's kind of wild, but oh,
I'm
Tiger,
telling you,
oh,
bro.
Tiger. Well, let's get into this Akshay Bhatia bag. He is a Callaway staffer, so he is Callaway through and through. And this
Yep.
is one of the more detailed what's in the bags in terms of tape, grams,
Hmm.
uh, down to the decimal on some of the degrees that he's got his club set. So I think this is going to be interesting. So
Good.
just a general picture of his bag here without the head covers. I did notice this week, well, as soon as we go into the driver, playing a driver that's a couple of years old, and but still, as a staffer, you got to rock the most current head covers. So he had the AI smoke head covers, but
Right. On a rogue.
on the Rogue. So
Yeah.
he's still playing the Rogue from a couple of years ago. ST Max at 8.4 degrees. Again, very specific. The taping, he's not doing anything, injecting any stuff into his driver. He's going straight with the old lead tape, 2 grams on the heel, 4 grams on the toe.
Hmm.
Common Fujikara Ventus 7 X stiff shaft at 44 and 7/8 inches, tipped at 1 inch. For those that I want to jump into this because you have some expertise with this as a fitter,
Yep.
someone who actually does this. When it says a club is tipped, explain to lay people what that may mean.
So essentially, what tipping the end of a shaft does is controlling essentially the kick point. The kick point is where the shaft flexes, and that's what allows you to either hit it with a low trajectory, a middle trajectory, or a high trajectory. So if you have a relatively higher kick point, that means it's higher up on the shaft, more where the grip is, which means it's kicking earlier and it's having a lot more flex to where it's going to kick up and go higher. If you have a
Mm,
stiffer kick point, it's going to not allow it to flex as much at the bottom part of the swing when you're coming in to impact. It's going to allow you to control the trajectory a little bit more, and it's going to allow you to have it to go a little bit lower underneath the wind or a little bit more controllable as far as when the launch trajectory is going. So, I, ultimately, tipping means you're just trying to create more control. It's kind of like when it's essentially like if you're hitting an into the wind shot, when you choke down on the club or go down a little bit lower on the shot, and then you're making like a three-quarter swing. It's just allowing you to have a little bit more control on the trajectory of your shot. So um, a lot of pros do this. A lot more amateur golfers that are scratch or plus do this just because of control reasons. They don't want the ball launching too high, something that they can't control, especially if they have like a 9 or 10 degree driver, kind of like me. So it's really just allowing you to dial in, where you want the ball to start.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that explanation. But
Mhm.
again, very dialed in. Clearly, he's been working on perfecting this
Shorter than
driver.
standard.
Yep,
44 and
much
7/8.
short.
45 is a standard now. Yeah. Mm,
Yeah, and I think we're seeing more of this. You're able to get. Also, again, I think goes to more control as well, right? You're not having.
definitely.
I mean, is off center for a pro is very subjective. I mean, it's not a lot, right? But you
Right.
know, to control the center strikes and just be more accurate with it. So very detailed and very specific on how he's got his tape set up. Move over to the 3 wood here. So he's playing the AI smoke. The paradigm does have this one in the bag, and I did want to point out for people who have a bit of an ego about which style or you know he's playing the max. So this is the larger head in the lineup. No shame here. Just playing what
Right.
works. He's got it set at 14 degrees. It is a 15-degree head, so tick down just a little bit. Fujikara Ventus Black 8X getting a little bit heavier, of course, and 3 wood with the X Diff. Standard offering, I mean, but again, I thought the one thing about his 3 wood was, again, that he's playing the max, not just
Yeah,
just because not the pro head, just because he can.
for sure. The forgiveness is still wanted. And when you're swinging at the speeds that they're swinging, you want to be able to swing hard and be able to trust what it's doing. So no need for you to go with the tour model if you're just trying to swing it as hard as you can. Now, if I was swinging, more in control, 80% or whatever, then yeah, me playing the pro model wasn't going to be that much of a difference because the sweet spot's still going to be, pretty good what I'm doing. But if I'm trying to swing like Akshay or like JT and stuff like that, then yeah, I'm going to want like something that's a little bit more forgiving so I can swing as hard as I want.
Yeah, cool beans. Go on to the next one here. We're going to get into his hybrid. My computer will cooperate. There we go. So Callaway Apex utility wood prototype 17.8. Again, very specific.
Mhm.
Fujikara Ventus Black 10 X Stiff shaft. And very interesting. I mean, this one I didn't get a chance to look up the year that the Apex line was out. This is a few years ago, right?
Yeah, not too long ago. That it's something that they keep. I mean, innovating and renovating and making it, upgrading it, pretty much making it a new look. But the Apex series has been there, for quite some time, even since when we probably were getting into golf, back in 2012 type deal. They just keep making updated models of it. So,
Right.
the 17.8 degree is essentially a 5 wood. It's a two hybrid, but it's a 5 wood essentially because that's what the 18 degree is. So, he's probably looking for 260, 265 out of it, something like that, something comparable to that. But yeah, the Apex has
Yeah.
been around for a while, but that's
Yeah.
probably, within the last 4 or 5 years.
And I was looking at the sole of it, so very unique. It actually looks very similar to the Rogue. I'm going to jump back to this Rogue slide here, but you can kind of see those
Mm,
rails. So maybe something about the relief of that he likes. I mean, it's a very uncomplicated, smooth sole of a club. You see a lot of tech down here these days with these new hybrids and 3 woods. But this one's a very sleek, and I'm sure he's one to get through the turf pretty easily.
Yeah.
You can, yeah. I mean, this is gonna achieve that. So super cool club, very custom. Again, prototype. You're not getting this out on the open market. Something that he's worked with Callaway on, and again, very dialed in on that degree 17.8. Looking for a certain window there. So move over to his Callaway X Forged utility iron, 22 degrees with the KBS money taper, 125 stiff plus.
Mm.
Not much here. I mean, this is a solid club that kind of, again, just falls in line with the Apex line
Yeah.
of, irons with them. It gives me vibes of the old, gosh, they're out of business now. Adams had a line of clubs with this kind of weighting in the back, very similar, which
Hmm.
you could change out the plate. So it was the Adams idea iron. And so whenever I see this Apex kind of club, I just get vibes of that. So, shout out to him. I mean, a lot of players are rocking some kind of utility iron these days. I
Yeah.
don't think it's very practical for most AMs. Honestly, you're much better going off with some kind of wood or hybrid. But
Yeah.
yeah, keep it moving here. So again, Apex irons. Again, this is one that you're not going to see very often, especially the raw version. I think this is very unique to him as well. I mean, typically we see the glossy finish, the you know just not straight raw. I haven't seen the raw
Yeah.
version of the Apex irons ever. So he's got the TCB raw 5 through pitch and wedge again, KBS money taper at 125 stiff plus. What do you think about these irons, man? I love how they look. I got fit into these a couple of years ago. Turned a little bit too left for me. Overdrew it
Hmm.
a little bit. Just didn't look. They look great down by the ball. Just didn't fit my
Yeah.
game. What do you think about these irons?
Yeah, I mean, the Apex Forge is a club that I've always wanted to put in the bag, just never has ever, really had good results. Anytime I've hit it in the bay, anytime I've hit it outdoors, just, just not my number. But I don't know. I guess I'm the contrarian now because I don't like the raw finish. I definitely I like the chrome black. I like the satin chrome or the matte black even. Just, a sleeker look. I feel like this makes it look worn. I've like, this is like it could be 2 months old and you put it in a water treatment and it makes it look beat up and old and shit like this. Like I don't know. I don't like it.
Not for you. Not
Um,
for you.
nah, Nikolai Højgaard does that with his irons too. He has like the Callaway MB, the Callaway X Forge MB or something like that, and he has that raw finish too. So his clubs they look like 20 years old, and I'm just like, bro, I don't get it. I don't,
And
bro. And it's
it's
already a
it's kind
butter
of like
knife.
those golden goose shoes that cost like $800, and they already
Yeah,
come kind of at that pre-worn look. I'm like, dude, miss me with that. It just doesn't
right.
appeal to me. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, then that's all it is. But I definitely, enjoy that. I mean, and then, playing the money taper, that's the shaft that I play. So I definitely enjoy it. I mean, I love the flight of it. I love the flexibility of the shaft. And, I probably could have done with doing like a stiff plus as well, but the stiff is good enough for me. I'm trying not to swing as crazy hard anymore. I'm trying to just be more in balance with everything. So yeah, I love the look of the KBS shaft and I love the look of the Apex. So,
Yeah,
maybe if he did that glossy black, I'd be on his side, but
not this
mm,
one. Okay, let's
yeah.
keep it moving. So Akshay playing the Callaway Jaws Raw again, not playing the stock degree. So he's got his 50 bent to a 49 with the 10 bounce,
Yeah.
54 straight 54 also with the same bounce, and his 60 is bent to 61. Again, we're never going to see a full shot with that. A little
Yeah.
bit lower bounce at 8. And then the KBS higher rev 2.0 135, again, a little bit heavier shaft for his wedges. Not to, I mean, we're seeing a lot of pros kind of either playing the 140 or the 135. So, um,
Yeah,
he's a slight guy still working on his fitness, which is what he said after the round. Even the wife, he said, man, he's a real string bean of a guy, but he moves it. He gets the ball
yeah,
moving. And it generates a lot of speed. But I like the little patina on here with the different finish on his jaws. It's probably a little customization just to beat it up a little bit. Any
yeah.
comment here?
And that's another thing with the Callaway wedges. They've always long been, really good wedge makers. Just for me personally, the golf ball and the wedges have just always been too spinny for me. Like, which is a
Mm,
stark difference from the drivers in the woods, how they have played, where they have played so much low spinning that I couldn't control the spin. So it'd kind of be like a knuckleball. So like if I get it out of the screws, yeah, I'm hitting it, 20 past where my driver is, but on a regular basis, I'm not controlling that at all because of how low spinning it is. But the spin on the wedges is, too spinny for me. So I feel like lose yardages. It's kind of like when I tried
mm,
to make a switch to the Nike Engage wedges. They were a little bit more of a raw finish. They were a little bit heavier, but the grooves were
yeah,
different than the Vokies I had been used to. So, just way too high in the air, not really getting a true distance, I felt. But, in the hand and on the looks with the high toe finish where they have a lot more grooves up top, you can play more shots with it, which is great. When you got players like Phil and things like that where the player design matters, like it makes sense. And with the high toe
yeah,
and all the spin and stuff like that, you can open the face up. You don't always have to play a square face, a square lie, and you can still, manage to get, full potential out of a shot. So I've
yeah.
always respected, Callaway wedges, just not for me. But definitely love the look of these still. I mean,
Are,
and they know
are
what
they
they're
a
doing for
second?
sure.
Are they a second behind Vokey wedges for you? Anybody else making wedges on the that are good as Callaway? Or are they it?
I mean, honestly, I would say Cleveland probably makes better wedges, but
That's true.
I mean, at
I don't
that
know. I
point, you're
think
getting
Cleveland
pretty
doesn't give you as
nitpicky.
maybe I'm hadn't looked fully into the Cleveland line, but I don't think you get as many versatile clubs. I mean, it's versatile kind of grinds, and the pros are different, right? But I'm talking about off the
Yeah,
shelf stuff for your usual amateur. I don't think they give you a lot of grinds to open things up from a Cleveland perspective. Usually, like the
true.
CBs look like they sit pretty square, and you're kind of going to live with what you live with. But I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, you can kind of see he's got some different grinds going on here, um, throughout his wedges. So shout out to them.
TaylorMade is
I
up
really
there
do.
still,
Yeah,
they
Taylor
still have
Made's
some
getting
good.
good.
Right,
Taylor Made was looking really, strong with Woods forever, and that was their kind of bread and butter. But I feel like Taylor Made is getting so good through the bag that after
for
we cut
sure.
down on all the marketing crap, and they just started making quality stuff. Like the irons are world class at this point. Wedges, like you said, are getting there. Putters, tailor made putters are really damn good. We've talked about
Right.
Scotty's transformation in putting, so tailor made is really getting good throughout the bag. I would even say a couple of years ago at the ball, the TP5 and TP5X were really inconsistent. I wanted to play that ball. I really wanted to love that ball. But you would have probably about two out of every dozen in a pack that was just, you'd get a weird response. And after, my golf spot was able to confirm that, yeah, these are some of the highest kind of rates of a good ball, manufacturer with duds in the box. I just went away from it because I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't afford to give up two two kind of crappy balls in a pack, and I'm paying premium prices. So,
Right.
but overall, yeah, I think TaylorMade's really getting their stuff together here. And let's finish up with his putter and ball. So I hadn't been able to tell, whether he's anchoring or not. He leans in pretty deep on that handle. But he's rocking
Right.
the Jailbird, which is that putter popularized by Wyndham Clark and Ricky Fowler last year. But he's got it on the broomstick with the Super Strokes Energy split grip. Again, I don't know if he's got the Bernard Langer thing going on right now, but I would say Akshay's a pretty average putter. Like he's not great. I mean, when you saw
Yeah.
kind of as a direct comparison, um, Denny McCarthy rolling the rock today spectacularly. I mean, looking really comfortable. You can tell Akshay is grinding, and most people that do play the broomstick style putter, they struggle with their typical traditional putter grip and strokes. But
Yeah.
again, he's good enough to get the job done. I just don't know if he'll ever be a great putter. Any thoughts here on
Yeah. I think,
the jailbird?
yeah, I mean, the face plate and the face insert in that Odyssey putter is always going to be Bay. I mean, it's always going to be top three type deal. So you can never discount an Odyssey putter. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just really going to take a hot ball striking week for Akshay to win because yeah, it's just not in the cards for him to be a good putter. I don't know. Like I feel like he just doesn't really have like that knack for it, and I don't think that he ever goes to a green excited to make a putt and stuff like that. Like when you go back to his rounds before the cut, they had him interviewed and they showed his proximity of his birdies. Most of those are, 5 to 6 footers, 7 footers, stuff where he's not really having to read much into it, make many putts. And again, when you're hitting it as close as he's hitting it, you don't have to really read much into it. But when you have a bad ball striking day, or when you need to get up and down and you need to make that 20 footer, like you're not going to just bust out a Jordan Speed stroke. So
Yeah,
as far as that
I
goes,
mean
unfortunately, I just go ahead.
yeah, it's just it feels. I'm not. It's clearly he's very good, but I think the most impressive putt that I saw today, and he had opportunities that he missed down the stretch. But 18, he had about I say it was 11,
Yeah,
12
that was a
foot
pure
putt
putt.
down down the hill, and that one he looked confident. He got a good read with Brendan Todd coming down the hill, so he got to see what it did at the hole
Yeah.
as it was dying. That was when it was an impressive putt. Could he have closed it out before that point? Probably so. He made a couple more
The
down the
whole
stretch.
prior,
Um,
he had a birdie put on
yeah,
17. If he makes
yeah,
that, then he has a birdie to win it.
yeah. That's the one where he came out of the bunker. Was able to get it close, but McCarthy sunk his
Yeah,
putt, and Bhatia ended up missing his. So potential's there, but
right.
like you said, he needs to have a good ball striking round to get there. He was able to put it together for 4 days this week. Started off the gate 9 under on Thursday, so got off to
Yeah,
a really good start, and ultimately would have finished about 21 under with the playoff. So solid all the way around, wire to wire finish. And he's playing the Callaway Chrome Tour ball. Um, as we all know, their balls are a little bit different. And it seems like as much as he tinkers, this isn't just your usual stuff that's right off the rack. So he's
yeah,
really got some, different stuff going on with his ball to fit his profile. So that's Akshay Bhatia's winning what's in the bag. Seems like he's been keeping it pretty steady since January of this year. Salute to that young man. Looking forward to seeing what he does in the Masters this week and his first kind of full maiden voyage over there to Augusta outside of the drive, chip, and putt contest.
yeah,
Before we get into, I'm not even really going to hit on this Rory thing. We'll check more into his. He just made a one club change, so that's not super crucial. Bednardi will also until more. Well, I'll mention it. You sent me a video earlier in the week with Fred Couples testing out these new Bednardi
yeah,
irons, which they look beautiful, keeping kind of the same profile as their putter, the honeycomb finish. They look great. Um,
yeah,
right now, the only person that we know of worth that's playing these is Fred Couples. And if their intro to their line of irons is any indication, I feel like they're going to have a hard time getting traction, based on hype. it's gonna be like a cult following, but they look good. They really do look good. Fred Copeland
Definitely.
said he likes him. We'll see if he actually puts him in the bag and we see him out on the Champions Tour. But overall, a really striking iron. Go check them out. They're all over Instagram right now. Um, what do you think about the Bednardi irons, and do they catch any traction?
I think they catch traction, just because of what you said. I mean, when you have a following just off your putters alone and you branch out to the irons, once you're an elitist, you're an elitist, especially in the golf world. So it's nothing like you're telling me right now, Rod, if some people that play Scotty Cam putters, if Scotty Cam drops a set of irons that they're not going to go right over and be like, yeah, I got to get the irons to match the club, to match the putter. That's the type of stuff
Yeah,
that you're
yes, of course, because I saw
right.
Zaire Golf posted a guy at the tournament this week with a Scotty Cameron logo tattooed down his calf. So hell yeah, somebody will
Yeah. So
definitely go get the irons.
yeah, they're at least going to get some traction from that in itself. But,
Yeah,
with the way that they did look from the view that we had when Freddie was, swinging them and stuff, I definitely think they have some potential. I mean, and it's like what Freddie said. If it has just any kind of difference to where it's like, I'm not seeing TaylorMade when I look down at that. I'm not seeing Titleist when I look down at that. They're going to be excited about that and they're going to want to try it out. And anything forged is always going to have a great feel. And you're going to be able to
yeah.
change the lofts and, have them more dialed in as well. So I definitely think that, it's got potential, but yeah, it's going to take a few pros playing it,
What's
a lot more, reviews. The Club Champion's going to have to get a hold of them, put a review out. Golf WRX, a few of the, a few of our, friends
our
that we
go-tos?
like to say
Yeah.
are going to definitely have to do that for sure. So once they
Let
get
me
out
uh,
and they get into that maiden scene, what's up?
let me pull it up just so people can get an idea. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, once the views and stuff get out, because it's a players club. It definitely has a good look to it. And if it's anything what Freddie was talking about with turf interaction, that's a main proprietor of people like clubs. If I'm fighting the turf if I'm coming in steep and then it's just digging, stuff like that, all that matters. So when you have a club where you feel like it just glides through the club, like, yeah, that's the intricate look.
It it really is, and honestly, from a cost perspective, they're really not incredibly expensive. I think these are going for 1,600 for a set. But
Oh,
like you
pff,
said, you're not seeing anything else like this on the market right now. This is a unique,
yeah,
there it's a muscle back and a cavity back, 100%.
yeah,
But they just look different. This top line looks a little bit thicker on the more chrome looking one. I mean, the player's iron looks like a player's iron. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I want to see some folks test it out, put it on the monitors, see what they're actually playing like. I can kind of see what they're talking about with the turf interaction, right? You see some relief on the
yeah.
backside here.
That bounce looks great,
So
and I think, and Freddie was saying it too. Once you get into the players' irons, it's all about feel and what you preference,
yeah,
because in most of these tour playing irons, the top line is next to no difference when it goes from the cavity back or the CB and the MB. It's all in the longer irons, the 6, 7, the 6, 5, 4, and 3 if they're still young enough to play that and stuff like that. But man, that's a sweet
yeah,
looking set. That is
yeah.
sweet.
Look at that. Look at that. That's a nice iron.
Yeah.
It's a
I
really
like that. I
nice
like the way
iron.
that 7 looks. Like I like
Yeah,
the shape of the 7 is different. Like little stuff like that, it matters. You
yeah. Here
throw,
you can see a
you throw
little.
a custom
It's
ferrule on that. Mm.
Yeah, and this one's not super chunky, when you look at it
Right.
from this view. I mean, the toe looks, back here. I don't know how that's going to look. Let's take it to the top line. So you're going to get some confidence, right? Even the muscleback is not offensive, right? It's
Right.
still
Yeah.
an attractive iron that you feel like I can go hit this thing. It doesn't look like what's that first set of Nike irons that we had, bro? That looked like a shovel down by the ball.
Oh man, those mock speeds. Oh my God.
Yes, yeah. So it doesn't look like that.
Golly.
There's some really attractive irons there. Um, so yeah, Bednardi. We'll see how it looks. And if again the numbers, how it performs, that's the most important thing. We know the looks are there. Let's see how it performs. So let's hit two quick stories before we get into our Masters shoes for the year and our the
Yes, sir.
releases that have come out ahead of the Masters. So I put in our notes that players on Live are now realizing that water is wet. A lot of live golfers are now coming out agreeing with Rory McIlroy that some resolution needs to happen because fans are tuning the sport out, and it's
Yep.
true. Um, we've I'll talk about my personal experience. We made an effort this year to really dig in on the live stuff. Even when they were playing overseas, I was staying up overnight watching the rounds, trying to see if I could get a different feel or if I liked it anymore. This week, I mean, the Valero was so good, I didn't really even have any desire to switch over to see live
Yeah.
playing in Miami. And apparently, no one else really cared outside of the kind of the post round concert with Akon because it just really wasn't a story. So the Anthony Kim thing has sizzled out already. I think Bro shot
Right.
a 76, a 80, and an 81 this week to finish 21 over. Half the field for Liv finished over par. I think it was 27 of the players finished over par plus one or more.
Mm.
The product is what the product is. But again, we rewind back to the main story, which is them saying finally some resolution needs to happen. I think,
Yeah.
come
Truly.
to Jesus or what. But it just like, damn, we've been saying this for quite some time. Thanks for coming to
Quite
the
some
party.
time. Yeah.
What do you think about that shit, man? I'm trying not to be frustrated. I'm just telling. This is the story. I don't know if there's much
Yeah.
commentary around it.
No, I mean I'm looking through the leaderboard and I'm looking at ball striking, top 20 of the of all time ball striker and Taylor Gooch. He finished
Taylor
tied
Gooch.
ninth at 6 under. You got guys like Tyrrell Hatton who hate golf and hate life, finishing above, all time Hall of Famer ball striker and stuff like that. So I'm really just trying to figure it out as I go, right? So I don't, brief little bright spot. Matt Wolff finished third by himself outright.
I know. Look at
He
him.
put it together,
Sergio got
right?
went into a playoff. Benny
Shaming, bullying,
Burmeister is
buzzword,
kicking ass.
right?
I'm
That's
just
like
saying.
3 wins in less than a year. Yeah, he's definitely cooking.
He
It
is.
goes to show
He's
you
playing
that
well
my
enough.
man's Brooks Koepka has, Brooks Koepka really, he did what he was supposed to do. Bullying works, and my man's Matt Wolff got out of his own head, and he's playing golf again.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of a different message, but the message was received. Yeah. Cam Smith
I
was
could
drawn,
fully.
shoots a
Yeah, he was what
75
after the
first
first
round.
round.
You know
Yeah, he
what?
was
I
sick.
meant to bring this up, dude. Bruh, Lucas Herbert just randomly went over to the live, and he was so lame on the PGA Tour that nobody even cared that he left. Like, it didn't make the news or nothing. Like, I just looked
There's
one
certain.
week and they were like overseas, and I saw Lucas Herbert. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no wonder I didn't see him on the PGA Tour because he's over here with these bums.
It was a quick
Hudson Swafford,
blurb.
another one of those names. Like, Hudson
Hudson
Swafford
Swafford
definitely
has
was like,
completely he has completely disappeared from. I mean, the man
right.
struggles to shoot par these days.
So definitely. First of all, he's like the evil twin of Harris English, like I was like, he
Yes,
looks like somebody. And I
I
was like,
always used to
it's Harris
confuse them.
English. Right.
I always
And
used
then, he ain't getting no
to confuse them
shine.
too.
So, he had to go over there. He probably went for like maybe 10 or so million. Anna Barn Lahiri, Danny Lee, names like that, where they was like, oh, they might do something. And then now they're not gonna do nothing. You know,
Now, let me
mm,
get this. Let me get this check and secure my
right.
future. Look, I'm not gonna hate on
Fact.
another man for doing. I'm not gonna hate on your money. I can hate on your bad golf though.
I can.
Instead of
I for sure.
grinding it out, getting better and competing, fine, go get your check, bro. Be
Yeah.
irrelevant because I really want to know now that players are calling for the reunification. They're now finally just saying we have to do this on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that look like, right? Because you have different factions on Live. I'm sure there are. Rom earlier in the year has said there's things I do miss about the PGA Tour. There's tournaments I miss playing. There's venues
Yeah.
that I don't get to play anymore. Versus these ones that some of them have never played. They're playing for the first time, and the way that their schedule has been this first 3 years, there's some locations that just do not repeat, right? So they played Vegas
Right.
for the first time this year, and it's like, who knows this course? From
Right.
unless were watching golf in the '80s, this is a new course for most of us. So that part of
Mm-hmm.
it, again, now that we're getting the calls from the players, how does that look? What gets
Yeah.
negotiated? Do some guys just opt? I swear, there's going to be at least one or two guys, quote me on it, that just refuse to play golf going forward, right? If these live golf
Yeah.
contracts are guaranteed and they say, okay, with the merger, your money is yours, peace out, we'll pay it out, prorated, give you a Bobby Bonilla contract, right?
Yeah.
Every April 1st, you're gonna get a check for 2 million. I swear to God, there's gonna be a handful of guys that refuse to play golf and uphold a regular schedule that's required to keep a tour card. Just because
Yeah.
you can tell, like you said, there's guys that don't like playing the game. They do it for a living, which is cool, right? You got to earn money. You got to
Yeah.
support your family the best of your ability. But there's some that just say, F this golf stuff. This is too much work. Give me my check.
I mean, think
I'll catch
about.
you on the other
I
side.
mean, just facts. I mean, just think about like. I mean, sorry for the terms, but career losers. Think about like Cameron Tringali, or like Brendan Steele. Bros, like, what what is there to show?
Yeah, what do we
Like, I
remember you
have,
for?
like, completely. Like, now a guy like Jason Kokrat, like, you can ride off into the sunset because you never really, like, you came on tour, you were already pretty old, like, nobody really remembers you. Like, you can ride off into the sunset. Nobody's worried about that. You know, you think about names like Peter Uline that, you kind of had some respect for. They dug it out the mud. They really tried to make it happen just for them to end up back here. It's like, okay, cool,
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
know.
You do your thing. Adrian
But
Moran,
would you?
he got on his high horse and he just
Yeah,
went off the
about
deep
the
end.
Ryder Cup
Who
thing.
fucking
Well,
knows? Yeah, who freak?
I don't know.
Richard
I think
Bland. Think about shit like that.
DJ
Carlos
would
Ortiz.
DJ would hang it up to me.
I don't think
Who
he'd
else
hang
is
it up.
somebody
He'd
that?
pick a few. He'd pick a few events. He'd still play the Heritage. He's a South Carolina guy. He'd still come back to play that. Couple of the events that he felt like he won or had a good time at, out in California with Gretzky and Paulina and shit like that. Like, he'd play a few of the events, but it'd be like heavily convinced like a Tiger schedule is now. For sure he's
Yeah,
playing
yeah, and he's
13,
got
14 events,
stats.
including majors and shit like that. He's got status. He's got past
Yeah,
champions status. If they reinstate that or whatever, if he comes back, shit like that. But then, like, you go back down the list again, and I'm just like, again, I'm sitting here like, okay, Sebastian Munoz, like, okay, bro, like, real fun. having you here, I guess. Like, whatever you want to do,
Andy
dude.
Andy Ogletree,
Right. Carlos Ortiz,
Perez.
bro, your biggest moment is gonna be President's Cup. Like, okay, like I get it. Go over to live. That's fine. Like you'll be all right over there. Abraham answered. He got walked off on the green on 18. They got beat so bad that he was just like, you know what? Let me get this foreign money. I'm gonna go ahead on go to the
He's
G League.
he's be,
I'm gonna go
he's become a
overseas.
life he's become a lifetime meme with Tiger, where
Truly,
like the putt gets longer and longer. Where every time I see it, where Tiger's walking away and taking the hat off. Every time I see
it
it,
really does.
they make more of a joke out of it.
Like Mark Leishman, that really still baffles me. I feel like he had like a lot of traction on the PGA tour. He had has he won before? I don't want to really look it up because
Leishman, I want to say he
yeah,
had won a couple of events. Let's see here.
yeah, not anything important, but like enough to be like, yo, like I'm a PGA tour winner and some shit like that. Doesn't he have he has like a picture with like a red jacket on or something, doesn't he? I don't know. It's whatever.
Oh
Louis
no, I'm
Oosthuizen
on this
and
wiki right
in his
now.
king
I'm on this
size
wiki.
bed and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
He's So Leishman would sneak up and win an event. So his inaugural win was the Travelers back in 2012. He won the Arnold Palmer in
Yeah.
2017, BMW Championship in 17, CIMB, which I think has been renamed, in 2018, Farmers in 2020,
Yeah.
and the Zurich with Cam Smith in 2021. So he's got
Yeah.
some wins.
Anyway.
Like I said, low ball hidden Leishman. Um, yeah, there's just people that we know because we're golf fans, but don't really move the needle. Hell, if John Rahm can't move the
Facts.
needle for Live, I think that says all you need to say right there, right? There's only one
Facts.
true needle mover, and that's Elder Tiger Woods, no matter how old and
Yeah.
decrepit his body gets. Let's get off of this stuff. One more story before we get to the shoes, my guy.
Yep.
JT splits with Jim Bones Mackay this week. Both
Yeah.
both parties very quiet about the reason why. The typical um, PR stuff. Bones taught me off the on and off the course. He'll always be family. Pull out the rest of the
Yeah.
script. We
Amicable.
saw it.
Yeah. Amicable split. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't
I
know,
mean, we said
man.
it a couple of weeks ago. We said it a couple of weeks ago. Dad is coach, so you really can't split with dad without creating
Yeah.
some major ruffles, right? Dad would voluntarily have to step aside on his own. And
Truly.
I'm mixed on how I feel about JT's dad. Some people, is saying that he inserts himself into every win or positive thing that happens with JT. I don't know. I mean, we're only seeing the TV version of it, so who knows what goes on
True.
in the background. But I think for them to split, Pops would have to be the one that initiates that. But in the short
Yeah.
term, the one move that you can make is splitting from your caddy when you're not playing well. Which, are we surprised? You see JT shoot a 79 in a professional tournament. You can't be surprised. And at this
Right.
point, we don't think it's physical, right? I mean, there's not been a lot of injuries. It doesn't seem like he's laboring physically. Something's
True.
going on mentally. The confidence is gone. So who the hell knows who his caddy's going to be this week? And to do it the week before the Masters is definitely a strange
Very
move to
strange.
make, which again makes me raise an eyebrow. Did something happen? Did they have words? This is not
Yeah.
good timing that they couldn't even make it 2 weeks to get past this weekend. And then that gives you some space to breathe before the next major and then kind of work out some stuff. So that's still
Right.
TBD. I have not seen the story updating who his replacement caddy is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real slippery slope with that type of deal because you want to give people the benefit of the doubt that it was truly amicable. Maybe Bones is trying to get more into the broadcaster role, maybe, you know, he
All right,
felt
I
like
missed it. Sorry,
what?
I did miss it. Um,
Is he going
I
back
don't
to
know if
Steve?
this is
Steve Johnson or whatever?
no, it's hold on. This could be an old story. It's like this. This is a bad article. It's like tagged. It's like they've continued multiple stories on the same one. Um,
Oh,
it's bad. But they have the name. It's Patrick Cantlay's former caddy, and they don't even name him. So, Minster, Minister. Um,
okay.
yeah, Patrick Cantlay's former caddy, whoever the hell that is, will be
So
on
I
the
feel
bag
like,
for JT.
yeah. And that's another thing too, Rod. What do you think? So, first of all, if it ends up being something with dad, first of all, that's awkward because bro, why are you ruining relationships? But like two, like, yeah, I think dad is just gonna have to step down himself. Dad is gonna have to be like, hey, look, I love you, kid, but you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to find your other way. Like, I just want to travel and I just want to be a parent again. Like me and mom just want to watch you play good golf, la 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 la. But they have an interesting dynamic when your dad is the only reason why you play golf, when he's the inspiration of why you even started playing as a kid, as a baby, you know, only reason I wanted to be a part of the PGA of America, it's gonna be a tough split. And it's gonna be awkward
Yeah,
regardless, because it's gonna be like, Dad, like, I love you, and you're still my dad, but like, bro, like, we got to figure something out because you coaching me, I'm not winning no more. You know
yeah,
that 2022, we already saw what happened. It was Mito's fault, not me winning it. It was him losing it, and you can clearly say
yeah,
that, regardless of what anybody says. Mito lost that. JT did not go and win that. He made a couple of clutch putts, throughout that back nine, but that was Mito collapse for sure central.
yeah.
But like besides 2022, what has JT done? The disconnect is coming, so something's got to happen, and it's got to be more than just a caddy, but that's neither here nor there. But here's my question to you. If you are a superstar player, hypothetically, right? You've won two majors, you're bordering on a double digit winning, you're well liked and known in the PGA Tour. Do you get a Hall of Fame caddy? Do you go and use your pool and get a Hall of Fame caddy or somebody that's notable in the caddy game, or do you find a nobody? Would your
Mm,
would your ego allow you to be accompanied by somebody with just as much pedigree as you? Like, would you go and get Fluff before he retires? Like, like CT Pan
no,
just went out and got Fluff. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Or would you go out and do
no.
a Rory and get a Harry Diamond, a random, a homie,
No,
something
no,
like that?
no. That's different. That one's totally different. That one doesn't qualify for me with Harry Diamond because that's a friend. That was stupid. I've said that too many times. I don't think he should be on the bag. But to answer your question, if I am JT in the situation that I found myself in now, where I've split from a well-known caddy, I'd go get a nobody. I get somebody that's up and coming. I get somebody that maybe has been on a couple of bags but is not known by name, right? And there's only a
Yeah,
handful of caddies out there that are of note like that. But
right.
I get somebody that I can go low, low on the radar. That way, if it doesn't necessarily work out, I don't become the center of attention again, right?
Yeah,
Um, it's just I feel like that's also part of it that he's so well publicized and he is now the news. So you don't want to keep becoming the news for the wrong thing. So if you
yeah,
let's say you have a decent confidence in yourself that you can turn your game around, I do go get a nobody and then just say,
yeah.
hey, um, we're going to ride this thing out or we'll go year to year, but we're not going to make any changes mid-season. That also, of
Yeah.
course, attracts a lot of attention. Off-season splits, people understand it. It's like, hey, I'm going in a different direction. But mid-season, big name splits, it really makes you
Right before a
question
major.
what's
Yeah.
what's going on, bro. You like
Seriously.
even with the PGA win from a couple of years ago. That's 2 years ago, and he has not won, and not really even been close to winning since that point. The Ryder Cup was a
Facts.
respectable bounce back. We saw the game trending in an okay direction, but again, we've seen more rounds, high 70s, 80s from JT than we would want from any professional at
Yeah.
this point. And so I still think it's coaching. You still have to work that one out. But I
Yeah.
go no name caddy. I go no name caddy and call it a day and, figure out the mechanic stuff. I don't know. I can imagine just blowing up on dad one day on the range. Like, man, this shit ain't working. And then just like completely losing
Right.
his stuff.
You just drive
And I,
off. You just drive off.
And I think JT has that weird personality. You can tell gets hot under the collar and
He
really
be on
tries to
edge.
play a respectable. Yeah, and he tries to play the respectability game, but you can tell it's just kind of bubbling up. And I really feel like he is at the point where things are really going to have to change. And I
Yeah.
don't think that's a caddy. I mean, a caddy is, yes, they're giving you confidence. And if you're telling me that Bones isn't good on the bag from a speaking to you, speaking confidence into you perspective, I think I'd call bullshit on that because that man's
Very.
reputation is renowned and he's a known commodity. I don't think that's just BS. There's people that would speak about him in private as well as they would in public about how good he is with players, other players, even that he's
Yeah.
not on their bag. Tell stories about how he's given them kind words and this and that. So I think the problem is JT and his crew. That's just me. But we'll find out, man. We will find
So John
somebody will
Wood.
spill the beans.
So John Wood text you in private. JT, look, I'll drop the mic and everything I got going on with Golf Channel right now. If you put me on bag and salary, what's up? You say no or yes?
Mm,
John Wood, Hall of Fame, off of Kuchar's bag, off of the other player's bag. You know what I'm talking about? He got a lot
I
to
know.
say.
I'm looking them up. Uh, no, no.
I agree.
I'm
I
telling
feel
you,
like he
straight
talked
no
too much
name.
in my ear. I feel like somebody talked too much in my ear. But it's crazy though because dude, JT went off back to back Hall of Fame caddies. He went from Bones. He went from Steve Johnson, who caddied for Steve Stricker for so long.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame career,
the
multiple
ego,
years.
the ego. Something's going
He
on,
got to
bro.
get a nobody.
Something's going on.
He got to get a nobody.
He, he's
He's got to
fighting.
get a
He's
nobody.
fighting demons. Let's get off this negative stuff and get into what I like,
You know.
which is golf shoes.
Also,
Masters,
you
go
saw
ahead.
my boy Rory. You saw my boy Rory went to Butch.
Get a tune
Mm-hmm.
up, right? he got that. He got that
Mm-hmm.
talking to.
Hell yeah. 66 on final Sunday. I'm telling you, coming into play.
It matters. All right, Masters golf
Shoes.
shoes. Let's do it. Hot or not? Let's go hot or not.
I like
Quick
that.
commentary on each one. We'll go quick commentary on each one and keep it moving. All right. Off the bat, Nike's rolling with this
Absolutely
color
not.
scheme. They've got this in multiple shoes. The Pegasus, uh, some other stuff. This is their Masters colorway for this year. Not.
Absolutely not.
I'm going with
Absolutely not.
210. 210 is overpriced already. And then for this double swoosh, not feeling it.
Trash.
Nike
180
is
max,
tripping.
brother.
This was the sleeper for me. I'm a little no on the price, but I think it's a solid shoe. The Phantom Cat from Puma. What do you think? 'Cause 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 'Cause
It's a
It's passable.
it's passable. I want them to stop doing this with the Puma strike though. I want the big Puma back. Give me big Puma stripe back.
Bring it back the original style. Yeah,
If that shit goes all the way from the sole all the way to the back heel piece, I'm with it. I'm with it.
yeah. It
Colorway,
it
all of it.
looks
The
just
design of the shoe is
it just
clean
looks
too.
random.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's just random.
And then it's got like some ventilators around it or whatever, bro. Come on, man. Please.
Yeah,
So nah,
I'll tell you who
but
does
like
this.
potential.
Yeah, I'll tell you who does that style very well, which I think is the next slide, and that's New Balance. So they
Clean.
have. I'm gonna jump back and forth, right? So that little thing
Yeah.
on the sole with Puma, they're trying it, but they're not executing it very well. So New
Ooh,
Balance, I think, is killing the game, man. If
clean.
you're gonna go with a master shoe, and let's not even talk about the price. It's 99.99 for this shoe. That is a
Facts.
steal. That's hot. And then you even
And
see the
then
azaleas
the
and the
traction is
impact
crazy
there.
good.
They are really good. I actually have been seeing people wearing New Balance out on the course. Now, I have some from a couple of years ago that I bought for a golf trip. I threw them
Hmm.
joints in the washing machine. They're going out with me on a round this week or something.
I'm
So
telling you, bro, I might cop.
New Balance is killing it. Even if this was not the Masters edition, just the regular version of the shoe, New Balance is what
I'd
it is
still
right
cop.
now.
Facts.
Yep.
And I like the big end. Now, if the big end, now, hey, peep this though. You telling me if they do, which would you prefer on this one though, Rod? Would you color in the end in green or yellow?
Neither.
You
Are
wouldn't
you talking
color
about
it
like
in?
the?
You'd leave it?
I wouldn't color it in. I think this keeps it passable throughout the rest of the year. We know it's Masters theme. I don't
Yeah.
go full extreme on that. So no, my
Because I
question
feel
would
like
be
if you
then.
drop the green in the back, if you drop the green in the back and color in the green and color in the end for all green, bruh,
No,
little yellow
no,
on the
this is enough.
backdrop instead.
No, this
Mm,
is enough contrast right here. This is quite enough. The only
okay.
question to me for imbalance is N or NB because they have different versions where they go NB. What do you like, N or NB?
In.
Okay,
I'm
agree.
always a big in. Oh,
So this is
clean.
another one. The 997. I think New Balance,
With the
man.
gum
They
bottom and the cleats. Come on.
yeah. This
Color
one's
in
a
the in.
the
I'm telling you. Big in.
okay.
Big in.
This
Color it
one,
in.
this one. I give you the green in. Yellow no yellow out yellow border, but green on the end. I would take that for this one because it's a smaller
Right, but
version
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
end.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
No,
saying on
but
the last one though.
this
You
one
color that
no.
in with yellow
That
with
one's
the
too big.
green.
Too big. It's the difference. I like the style. I like the shoe. The silhouette with New Balance, classic, bro. Shout out to New Balance. And again, the value 119, 120, plus tax for a very solid shoe, classy shoe.
Facts.
That's a steal.
Facts.
And by the way,
Let's
let me
just
mention it. As many of these as I can. I'm going to put the affiliate links for PGA Tour Superstore. Go get these. This is where this list came from through their Masters kind of collaboration. So I'll throw the links in the description this evening, and then when I reclip this particular section. So go check them out at PGA Tour Superstore.
let me also say that if Nike takes the same approach as New Balance, you don't think that they don't stay in the golf business where they don't feel like they need to charge an arm and a leg? If it's not your if this is an experimental space for you and you just trying to get into the market, drop the price, put it at like 125, do some like some flamboyant stuff, do some
We'll
adventurous
get to
stuff.
Nike. We'll get to Nike. Hold on, you're
No,
jumping ahead.
I'm just
Stay in
saying
the lane, bro.
overall.
Stay in the lane. We'll get there. We'll get there. We got like 13 more shoes. Hold on. All right. So next one is a Nike. Is it Masters theme? Eh,
No.
I think this is way
This is like
overpriced.
St.
This is a
Patrick's.
150. Yeah, this is 150 for the this is I agree with the pricing, but hear me out. Nike has always been known as a premium shoe wear brand. They're still living on that, right? So the thing, just from a business perspective, you cannot go back. You cannot retreat back to low cost goods, and then try to later recover that. Once you go low
Yeah.
cost, it's hard to jump back and forth. And the only brand that I know that has been able to successfully pull that off, and it wasn't shoe wear, it is Champion. It's so random, right? So Champion brand, back in the day was what it
Oh,
was,
hype B
and then
shit.
it went,
That's how they got
it
that back.
went, it went, it went low cost. You're finding it in Walmart, and then, like you said, they went back with some collaborations, Supreme style collaborations, and then that's the only way to bounce back. Nike has to stick with the premium pricing. Do I think that they can still drop that down? I think a $10 adjustment, $10 to $15, keeps them in the premium price, but still makes it more grabbable, right? So if this shoe was $135, that puts it right
Yeah.
on the edge of, yeah, man, I'm getting that. But as a master
Yeah.
shoe, I don't give it master shoe status. I would
It's
cop
not.
it. It's hot, but it's not really a master shoe.
Not.
Let's
We
keep
have
it
that in the
moving.
store. It's not. No.
Puma
Let's keep it
slipstream.
moving.
You're a no. Um, I
Hard
almost
no.
I could almost be convinced that they wouldn't have gone full retro with the pre-yellowed out sole. That kills it for me
Thank
for
you.
sure.
That
Um,
dingy
and
ass
now
shit. I
I've
hate
been
that.
I've been looking at this very. I think they have something with this shoe, but the way that they've been rolling it out in the colorways, they have one with Arnold Palmer that I was looking at. It's way too
Yeah.
flamboyant. It's over the top. But again, this particular version, the pre-yellowed bottom going full retro, is a no for me.
Absolutely
Keep
not.
it moving. Cole
No.
Haan, baby. Cole Haan, I will give them some credit. So I have a shoe review from almost probably 2 years ago at this point of a Cole Haan golf shoe, which I have recently re-pulled out. From a grip perspective, Cole Haan is actually a really good golf shoe. They are putting out some
Yeah.
good products. Their release cycles are super weird. They go limited stock pretty much on everything. So they'll have shoes for
Everything.
like a month or two. They'll sell them out and you'll never see it again. Um,
Yep.
but this is their master's version. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, bro.
Yeah. What does the
And
duck have to
mind
do
you,
with anything?
I have no idea. Kind of like Nike's thing. Just what does purple and whatever have to do with the Masters? Who knows?
Agreed.
So that's a no for both of us. Keep it moving. Under Armour. I'm a
Wow.
little torn, bro.
Right. Same. I see potential here. I like the form of
I
the
do.
shoe. I like the bottom of the shoe. I like the back of the shoe. I need that cream top to go away immediately. Immediately.
That's, that's the killer. That is the
Immediately.
killer. That
Make
heel.
that
This
green
is
and be simple, please.
yeah, yeah. I don't like white. Cream is so bad on that. This particular
Ugh.
shape of a heel is super comfortable, right? So I've
Yeah.
gotten a couple of pair of shoes with that particular heel. As somebody who has ruptured their Achilles before, this is incredibly comfortable. I have a pair of G4s that have that same type of heel. Amazing throughout the round, but the cream,
Yeah.
there's high potential for this shoe, but the cream kills it. I really do like that
Just kills
the
it.
Under Armour logo on the back. The yellow touch
That's
is
what I'm
very
saying.
nice. The spikes in yellow really nice, but cream was bad.
That's a really nice looking shoe, period.
Yeah.
And then
So
cream
maybe if
on
you get
top.
it in the regular
Goofy as
version,
hell.
if you get the regular version, non-masters, and they take that away, I think that's a very viable shoe. Under Armour is
Yeah.
underrated. but it's never the first thing that I think about when I'm thinking about purchasing a golf shoe.
Facts. Nope.
Little,
Immediately no.
some slight, immediately no, huh? Even if it's some slight. What if they have the Adidas marks in yellow?
No. I don't like the updated Adidas spikes. I mean Adidas stripes. I don't like this pastel green or whatever. I don't I don't I've never been like this just reminds me of the shell toe Adidas and I hate the shell toe. I hate it.
Shell toe.
It's not good.
I don't know about the shell toe, bro. It's more like Stan Smith to me, but I, Adidas has gone super casual um, over the years, and I don't know.
They
I
have.
agree. This is not really for me, and I guess that's the trend for the year is floating logos that aren't attached to anything. So I agree.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not
know
for
what that
me.
is.
I,
Yeah.
I think if it was a non-masters all white version, the spikes do look super shallow to me. So it may not be great on course, particularly with certain grass types.
Not for Texas.
But 110 though, mm, might be might be tempted. What do you think, bro? Under Armour Phantom,
Hell no.
$140. Why is this one a hell no?
Bro, why am I playing in platform boots? No. I don't need to be 6'8" to play golf, bro. I don't. And I'm
Extra
actually a
speed.
big hater. I'm actually a big hater on the this fly knit ankle support. I don't like that. I feel like my
So
ankle has
I'm
no support.
I 100% agree with that, and mine is for a different reason, and it's not the support. I prefer
Okay.
I prefer my support to be around the midfoot area. I could care less about
Yeah.
my ankles because I like rolling a little bit, but it's for the sweat factor. So these would not look good with a non ankle sock. Like if you had to wear like a cruise, not a crew, but like a kind of a mid-rise sock. This would not look
Yeah.
good with that. So your that sock liner is going to be super
Dirty as
grungy
hell.
looking after a couple
Yeah.
wears, especially again in Texas where we're going to sweat in the summer. So for that reason,
You're gonna have to
I'm a
actually
no.
put those in a
Actually,
washer. Yeah.
I actually don't hate the shape of the shoe. I don't even mind the platform. I imagine you sit down pretty decently in there. There's some characteristics from some Nike, the Infinity Plus shoe on the front end. They're borrowing some things there. I don't hate it. I
Yeah.
think Under Armour could get to where they need to be. I just don't know if they'll be able to capture enough market share before it just becomes unviable to produce golf shoes, right? So their only
Yeah.
named athlete right now in golf space is Jordan Spieth. We know Steph Curry is trying to sneak in there and they're releasing his basketball shoe with spikes. But I don't know, man. I'm almost willing to cop this one. We're split on this one.
This is a super like, yo, I'm walking Herman Park. I'm locked in with these. Like that is a Herman Park walk special. 6,000, like a city course, flat, no
Yeah.
elevation, because ain't no traction. And I'm just floating the whole time. You know what? You throw the clubs in the cart, you just go run on the Herman Park path right after the round. Them some fun,
These
them
are
just some
these are
running
some
shoes, man.
what's that shoe? The Hoka. This is
The
the Hoka.
Hokas, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. I can't. Okay,
I mean, what do you think about the Johnston and Murphys, man?
I'm with it. And for 150, because they look.
It's a
Hey,
leather.
look, right. That looks like an Echo type shoe where you think it would be like 230, 240 for 150. I'm with it. And I like gold way more than
I like the
cream
gold.
or any of that stuff. I
So
like this. I
so
like this. I'm
so
I'm wholeheartedly with this.
as soon as I saw this one, because traditionally specialized shoes that have come out around the players have been much better than the masters versions of shoes, and I think it's because of the
Hmm.
gold aspect. So if more
Yeah.
manufacturers with these masters releases started implementing some more goldish instead of like super. yellows, I think they could still make it work because we get it, right? The
Right.
eyelets on the laces are a little more yellow than gold.
Yeah, you see
So
that? That's what I was just getting ready to notice. Those are yellow. I'm with that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, little
Uh,
small to the fine print, fine point, fine print. Oh, my
these
fault.
these are
Yeah, I don't
these are
mean to
your
say
old
that.
these are your old man shoes, but
Yeah,
Johnson and Murphy on the come up for 150. I think that's a get.
yeah.
Let's see here. Next one. My slides are sticking. I went two in a row. Okay, yeah. So Adidas again. No logo. Modern classic. I see it. No yellow though. What do you think?
No,
$180.
no.
You've liked none of the Adidas I see. Okay.
Well, it's a FootJoy wannabe. That's all I
This
see.
is true.
I
This is
see
true.
FootJoy tradition. It's a FootJoy tradition, and they even went no logo to make it look even more like a FootJoy. Quit playing,
Yeah. I can't
perpetrators.
be convinced. I would say no if it I would say yes if it was $150, but that extra 30 puts it in the really premium category and too close to FootJoys where it feels like I'm compromising. Could I spend the extra $20 to $40 elsewhere and get something that's tried and true? And it's got the soft spikes. So at least give me a full spike that I can
Right,
remove for that price point. So yeah, I'm a no on that,
exactly.
largely because of the price and what it's lacking. Every time I see Asics, I think Hideki Matsuyama. I'm not a fan. I'm just not.
Um, I'm just trying to be as polite as possible. This is a no.
I know it's here's the thing, bro. I because of the flat profile, I know it can perform as a golf shoe. I know I would play
Right.
good golf in this shoe, but I hate the way it looks. That
I
rounded
went on
toe.
ASIC's site. Yeah, bro, exactly. I went on the site and everything. I'm like, I'm trying to find the potential because, bro, whatever they be giving Hideki, them shits be looking clean as hell on him. I can't, I can't, Roddy.
I think they would perform again. We go back to the price as well. 170 super steep, but if I catch these on sale for $120 or less, I'm
I was
getting
about
them.
to say
I'm getting them.
135 max. 135 max, I might slide.
But also, again, as a theme for the Masters, not a good,
No.
not a good Master
Yeah,
shoe either. So,
not a good match.
and to close it
Absolutely not.
out, you're telling me the greatest Tiger Woods shoe ever made, the TW13 Masters colorway, is absolutely not.
Yawn, hard pass.
You're right,
This
because
green soul garbage.
Nike's having a hard time selling these. It's
Yeah,
every
bro.
size is available on Nike.com. The shoe is not moving at all.
250?
250. That's
Nah, bro.
that's the hard pass on it. And that the fact that they're not willing to put this bad boy on sale. This shoe came out late last year or maybe early
Exactly.
January,
Nah.
but no one wants
Right.
it and they still have it at premium pricing.
Right. I wouldn't even pay info for them, bro. I would not. I would not. Mm-mm.
So that's our master shoe breakdown. I'm sure some more will creep out this week, but um, companies trying to capitalize off the majors. Nike's continuously screwing it up. We both are in agreement that New Balance is doing some things these days.
Yeah,
Um, so
definitely.
they're on the come up. So shout out to New Balance. Everybody else is pretty much a hard fail, hard pass.
Absolutely.
Justin Murphy sneaking in there with the quality offering. So anyway, bro, I'm excited. Masters week. We'll be
Masters Week is
watching
upon us.
the lead up all week, practice rounds, them sitting in the rotunda, outside
For
till
sure.
late at night talking Masters. But Thursday morning is where it's at. Masters app, hands down the best golf app out there, for the most
Yes,
coverage.
sir.
And also, as I've been saying, They're teamed up with ESPN, so you'll be getting some bonus coverage on ESPN. Plus, check
Hmm.
that out as well. So, first major of the year is upon us. Nelly Korda is the queen of women's golf, and golf is really here, and I'm excited. So, we'll get to see what these live boys do when it's time to really perform, and we'll catch y'all on Sunday. I'm excited.
Go Mavs. Go Rangers.
That's true. Beard Bros Golf Show. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Peace.